It is 8:30, so we'll pull up a chair and sit down. Sit down. We'll go into our law enforcement. I'm assuming we're talking about our shared deputy. That's why we're kind of meeting here this morning. Okay.
Yeah, as you know, the grant ran out last January. Biggs County found funding to keep that one around for a little bit, but that ends. Bob Road, they got another grant. I want to know if we're interested in it. So I told them the best thing is if they came here and talked to you guys and figure out if that's the best for both counties or not.
First of all,
We should introduce, all right.
I'm Jane Amundsen.
Introduce ourselves. Yeah. Steele County go first. I'm Randy Richards from Hope.
Ted Johnson from Hope.
Dennis Lindstrom, Bennett.
Lance Fogelberg.
This is our newspaper.
If I was supposed to say something or not.
Yeah. Morning.
Jane.
Morning, Dale.
All right, Jane Amundsen. All right.
Hi, John Wakefield, Cooperstone. Dale Peterson, Troy Olson, Cooperstone.
Cindy Anto, Cooperstown.
Sorry, I jumped in line, Cindy.
That's all right.
I'm Ron Dahl, we're Cooperstown.
All right.
Here, we can hand these around.
Yep. You got one already? All right.
Okay, so the current one that we're in runs out right now, right?
It's
Yeah.
been done for a while. We had a year of retention, we put that together.
Okay.
And that ran out at the end of January.
I think
Okay.
the way the COPS grant
Right,
works is funded for
Right.
3 years, but you agree to keep them for 4.
right, right.
Here.
So basically the same thing then?
Well, yeah, this is just a analysis. We don't know the exact cost. But we start at the top of this. The COPS grant award is, and these are generalizations, but I think it's 103,877, is that right? Yeah. So then we broke out the expenses for 2015 and we carried those forward all the way to 2018. This is a 4-year grant. The first 3 years, the grant funds pay 75% of the wages and benefits, correct, Ron?
Correct.
Yeah. And then the 4th year, the counties would be responsible for all the expenses. So we used $35,500 for a wage. The vehicle, $20,000 at 5%, 4 years, came to $5,600, repairs at $1,000, insurance at $1,100. Again, these are generalizations. Fuel expense, $5,000. Retirement expense, and this is using Griggs County's retirement expense, would be $5,000. Health insurance, $5,100. FICA taxes, $27. Training uniforms, $1,000 apiece. If you go down then, and the total expenses are $63,692. The COPS grant participation, because we will get the full participation, we've got it up to about $46,000 between the retirement, the health insurance, and the wages. So we'll be able to utilize the full grant. It'll be $34,625.66. And as you see, then the monthly cost to Griggs County would be $1,211, and the monthly cost of Steele County with a 5% administration fee just on Steele County's portion, not in the whole grant, would add $60 to it a month. As we go forward into 2016, we just use a 3.5% inflation increase, and the numbers follow through. 17, the same way, the numbers follow through. If we get to 18, there's where we see where we don't have any participation. So now we have the total expense at $70,000. Again, split down on a monthly cost between Griggs and Steele County with the same administration fee. And of course, all this is negotiable, I would imagine, because none of it's set in stone. We don't know what the cost is going to be. We get to the totals. So the total 4-year expense of this estimated 4-year expense is $268,000. The total grant participation will be the whole total of the grant, $103,877. Griggs Steele total participation then for the 4 years would be $164,000, and as you see below that, each county's share of it without the administration fee, and then the bottom line, Steele County's share of it with the administration fee, which would add about approximately $4,000 over the 4 years to Steele County's portion of it. As any estimate that anybody's ever done, we tend to always go on the bottom side of it. You never can account for everything. But this is just basically a guideline to see whether or not the services would be worth it to the taxpayer. From that point on, has to be a negotiated process.
The one difference between this grant round and the last one paid 100% for 3 years. This one's at 75. Every time they've done a COPS grant, they've been a little bit different. First round is on a graduating scale, and this time it's 75%.
The last time, if you remember it, you guys, it was 4 years and then 5 years we paid, so it was a 5-year grant, this is only a 4-year grant.
Okay, so I guess,
Is this what Griggs County wants to move forward with, or?
We have not taken action on this, Lance.
Okay.
I guess the reason that we didn't is we wanted to know what interest you guys had before we made a decision, because it will affect our decision, whether or not we want to do this jointly or not.
So if my calculations are right, it's about 21,600 a year. If you take
86,000.
our 86,000 and
Something like
divide
that.
it by 4, we're really committed to 21,500 a year, or 6 a year
Right.
about, is what,
Yeah.
if I,
For budgeting purposes.
For budgeting
If you could split it up
purposes,
that way.
we
yeah,
would
it
be, that would be what it would be costing.
Again, that's an estimate. The variables in there, of course, would be the,
Right, but we
Would be
would
the
certainly
fuel.
budget for it per year,
Yeah.
so that we didn't get hit with the 80 at the end, right? Wouldn't
Well, it'll
you?
be
Well,
paying throughout, we're paying $1,200 a month.
Right,
yeah, the end would be 3,089, so it'd be about $37,000 would be the last year.
Need to
Right.
budget for the $1,200 a month for the first 2 years,
yeah.
$3,000.
And the 5% administration fee, of course, is just what it states, but the little bit of the caveat in there is because of our retirement program, it's based on, if Troy could probably explain it a little bit better, but we don't have a fixed retirement program. As the retirement moves forward, we're charged by the amount of use for out of the retirement fund, rather than the money we put in. So we can't define exactly what that deputy's retirement cost will be to the county.
Not in the future.
No.
That
You're
rate,
not in PERS?
well, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
But
It is, but
North
it's
Dakota
based-
PERS has been increasing.
Yeah,
As the baby boomers retire, it depends on how the actuarial costs come out as opposed to the actual costs. And most of these defined benefit programs have escalated
Yes,
quickly.
yeah.
And that's why it's pretty hard to predict what they're gonna look like 4 years from now. But, that's why most of the world has gone to defined contribution retirement plans instead of having defined benefits.
Well, I guess personally, I think it's, a good opportunity to get another set of boots on the ground for, a lot less cost than we could do it on our own. Of course, we're half-time, but it's the presence that people appreciate, so, I don't know. So I'd be willing to go with it personally, but that's just me.
I think for us, as far as what we pay now for part-time or overtime, I think it would be about a wash. Maybe a little bit more,
Or
but it
if you
gives us.
didn't have it,
But it gives us that extra person I can always, because I'm having more and more problem finding part-time people, especially that work weekends and nights, obviously. So it gives us somebody that we can always count on, that we don't have to work, because we pay them a salary every month, so.
You find it in trouble, you have to get part-time over there?
Kevin right now, I'm running into a bind here next couple months. I've got someone leaving on medical leave and I have one leaving in January, so it's interesting.
yeah, that's, I guess I think it's a win-win. And, it's obviously disappointing that 75 instead of the 100%, but, we've certainly come ahead with that participation. I think everybody's been happy, And it's easier to fund a position for when they know they have 4 or 5 years than just a year grant. You know, that's really hard to fill. No one wants to move their family for, you know, for a year, but.
Being as you guys are kind of, you're the lead county in this thing, administering it or whatever, or, you know, think we'd be willing to go along with it. It's just a matter of whether or not you guys are gonna, is it worthwhile for your county over there, and is it, has the program been working? I mean, I guess
Yeah,
there's,
between Wayne and I work.
Yeah, between the two sheriff's
Very much
offices, it's
so.
fine, we haven't.
because we always hear the thing, well, where's he spending most of his time at, or where's he at? You know, is he in our county or is he in your county? This is a 50-50 deal, correct?
Mhm.
So,
And I think the past kind of showed that changes from deputy to deputy, so. Some
I think
cases.
there was some misconception last time with what Wesley was doing here. And when Wesley comes and works here, it was, he really picked it up, it's fine, it's okay.
that was the only contention that I ever heard much about was, are we getting our bang for a buck? Are we getting 50% of the time or not? And because we're not the lead county here and it's dispatched out of the Cooperstown, whatever else, so.
We average 7 to 9 shifts out of that person, so I think that's pretty much half.
Wayne and Bob have to manage that, we don't.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying that, you know, that's the
Sitting here.
that's
You're gonna
the,
have to manage it. You're gonna have to manage that.
Oh,
so.
yeah, no, we're fine at doing that.
We've got a very close working relationship anyway, the two of us, in our staff. Help out.
One time we even held hands.
Really.
I don't wanna know about that one.
Yeah.
Got a picture of that?
Are we hugging too?
We've never had a problem. We've worked it all out.
So I guess from the Steele County, I mean, Lance, you voiced your opinion, Jane, Ted, we're willing to go along with it if we,
Would, again, these are estimates, we would have to track the cost, so the, you know, because we don't know how many miles we've put on the vehicle, we don't know exact retirement costs and insurance and things like that. Would that be, I mean, it's gonna be close, it's gonna be one way or the other, but
No, and this is what we were looking for, because the last time we didn't really have a lot of strong ideas as to what we were getting into, and, you know, there was some discomfort as to what we were paying for what we were getting, and, but, I mean,
We
here we
try-
know what it is, and a year from now, you realize, oh, we're way off on the gas budget, and we're way off on this.
yeah.
And let's have a discussion, and we can move forward from there, instead of, you know.
And those aren't
Just
big pieces,
questioning.
those aren't very big pieces of the puzzle.
No, they're not, it's just, you know, communication is nice to.
is the
We know
grant
what's going
75% of actual cost, or is it, or they give you a number?
When we applied for it, I used Steele County salary for their base deputy costs.
Okay,
Our salaries are below that.
so that number's locked in, so if there's any overruns or any variables,
No, it won't go up.
That- right, that one.
103.
There's a maximum.
okay, that's what I was getting at. So if there is overruns, we just gotta pick up some, it might end up being reimbursed 70% or 65%, depending on what the costs come down to.
We
Well,
fill this position?
in order to utilize the
Yes.
103,877, because it's wages and benefits, we have to justify 46,000 some odd dollars
Yeah.
in wages and benefits. And it
Which
more
will
than
be-
does that with the $35,000 salary as we look at it.
Right.
So we would maximize the total cost of the grant. And then the overrun, of course, would be,
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
just, it could be, overruns could be a little more than this, but we all understand. that.
well, the overrun is 100, over the total duration of the grant, the overrun is 164,579.
Yeah, the grant is made strictly for salary benefits.
Yeah.
It doesn't pick up the other costs. The first round of cost grant they did add money for some other stuff, but these last three have not.
But it looks like we'll utilize the total
Yes.
grant dollars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in here was a patrol vehicle.
What's that?
There's a patrol vehicle listed for $20,000.
We currently have a vehicle.
Okay,
And that's,
okay.
part of that expense will be the fuel costs and repairs.
That vehicle will last for 4 more years?
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I put it in there is because, yes, we have a vehicle, but at the end of the 4 years, it's gonna have to be replaced.
No, I understand, I just
Oh, yeah,
wanted to
absolutely.
know where the vehicle was gonna be at. or where-
We track the expenses monthly, and, Steele County's always got an exact split of those costs for that that work that was done here, so.
Okay. Okay,
Sounds good. Well, I guess the ball's in your guys' court if it's something you wanna pursue. We're willing to participate again. Appreciate the work you guys have done.
and we'll pay your 5% administration fee.
Ron, John budgeted that in there, I didn't.
Sounds good to me.
If you handle all the
Nobody likes paperwork.
Somebody likes paperwork, that's fine.
My whole life's based on making money.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Are you, okay, well, we'll have to put our heads together and make the call. Are you guys looking for a county agent?
yes, we are.
I thought I saw that, well, Dale sent me an ad out of the paper.
Yeah, well, our county agent is,
Went south.
yeah, she went southwest.
South
Barnes.
No, she went to
Stutzman.
Stutzman.
Oh, Stutzman.
She went to Stutzman County. She went to Jamestown. So we are in the process
But closer
of
drive for her.
talking to NDSU.
They're gonna they're looking to find one.
Right, well, we're without one right now too.
But
I'm
their,
just thinking two little tiny counties.
their proposal is not to share. They do not want Sioux County agent
Oh,
to
I
share.
understand that,
Yeah.
but they would.
Right, NDSU, they want their own in each one, and they're not, they're not gonna facilitate combining it. But, the questions we had about combining is to combine, some other things, crop improvement would need to be combined, the 4-H stuff would all need to be combined, and it might be, not sure if it's a plus for our residents or not, to try to combine it, and, we don't know. I guess for now, we were just gonna see what NDSU
What
brought
was out
us.
there, what they brought us.
And
Just seems like an opportunity for the taxpayers to gain a little efficiency with the changing roles of the county agents over the last 125 years. The world has changed just a little.
just a little.
We're just not quite sure
It
with,
has, but ours has been we've kept ours pretty busy.
yeah.
We've got some very strong supporters of a county agent, and
We don't have any.
percentage
we
of
don't-
the people I don't think really feel strongly one way or the other type of deal, but there are a certain amount that do.
NDSU
And
shares with their, you're already, NDSU shares in the salary, and that makes a big
Oh, I
difference.
know.
Makes a big difference for us. We get it's like the cops got, we get a full-time person for half the.
Actually, they pay.
And they don't let you just like oversee both counties. Your programs all have to be together, and that's the stickler for us, I think. They don't let just you administratively be in charge of both counties. The
Well, I don't,
programs have to run.
it's never happened before. I'm not so sure that you don't have some say in how that.
It is happening in
One.
way out
Yeah.
west,
Yeah.
southwest.
Well, there's only one county. The county that Medora is the only,
Yeah.
that's the only county that doesn't have an agent.
And they work with,
Dickinson.
They do share with, I thought they shared.
They share with Dickinson, whatever county that is.
Slope County helps them with their, but I mean, a large part of, what county is Medora in? Bowman County? Billings County. I mean, a huge piece of that is the park. So
yeah.
they have their own resources. But I mean, a lot of the farmers have their own resources nowadays too.
Absolutely.
So it
changed.
is, and the world has become a smaller place, and the way we get our information has changed, and just feels like an opportunity for the people that are paying the real estate taxes to have a change in the way things are done that would benefit them, but.
Yeah, it is. I mean, things have changed a ton. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time with the county agent. I mean, anymore, it's changed from when Jerry was here, and I mean, the focus is different from NDSU, and the elevator has 2, 3, 4 agronomy people that, you know, everywhere you buy your inputs, it's got somebody who'll tell you something, or,
There's independent agronomist people here.
yeah.
The
So,
thing
I mean,
is-
it has changed, but like I said, we've
Bureaucrats.
got a lot of support from the community about having the county agent, so, we don't ever hear a question about the cost of it. I mean, I've never heard one person question the value of a county agent in Steele County, which personally, I question it myself, but I never hear it from anybody, you know, nobody complains about paying taxes to have a county agent, so it's,
Well, you need to do what the taxpayers ask you to do. There's no question about that.
Yeah, they're very supportive, and, you know, and just like, their roles have changed downstairs too, the extension has changed too. They've offered a lot more services in different areas.
Well,
You know,
the
there's a lot
bureaucrats
of-
will do that when they don't have anything else to do.
Well, you know, it's been helpful.
Bureaucrats will never make government smaller.
I was gonna say,
They will always make
it's
it
been
larger.
been helpful for the, our social service and our nurse stuff to have all, they do a lot of.
We're bureaucrats now, we realize that.
Trying to break the mold, Randy.
By holding public office, you just become a bureaucrat. But,
You're one of them.
But I'm directly responsible to the voters.
yeah.
Some of the positions that we are responsible for as elected officials, when I talk to people about the agent's position, and this is just in Griggs County, and maybe it's just because of the people I run with, they're all like, no, we don't need a county agent. We should make it a multi-county service that has less impact on our mill levies, but that doesn't mean I have a scientific survey. So,
no, and like I said,
and people don't bring it up. I bring it up because that's how I feel. But
Right
We
now,
would definitely hear it if we didn't have our extension. There's no doubt.
yeah.
No, I'm looking for a new writer for the extension notes, so if you want to do that.
The numbers dictate that eventually, whether it be the extension or other services, we will be forced to consolidate. I don't know what Steele County's
absolutely.
looks like, but if you look at Griggs County and the amount of taxes levied, 2009 it was $1.1 million. In 2014, that had grown to $2.2 million, a 95% increase over 4 years. That's unsustainable. And just as the schools have had to consolidate.
All levies for the county, that includes the hospital and.
Yeah, but
So
again, the taxpayers shelled out 95% more money in 2014 than they did in 2009.
You still have the hospital on here?
Just as the schools that had to consolidate, at certain time, the counties will also, or a certain amount of services. And it's better to be proactive, I think, rather than wait till it's an emergency because of urgency. So, again, it's something we'll all have to look at. It's just when we decide to look at it. And when the taxpayers finally say enough is enough, and unfortunately, because of the high burden that is placed upon agricultural lands, and now going into an era where we have lower commodity prices, that's going to become more evident.
Mm-hmm.
And you hate to be in a position where all of a sudden you're faced with having to make cuts and there's nowhere to cut. And the other variable here is, what is the state going to do as far as supporting our schools? Right now they've got us hanging out there. They've got us. Here's the big gift. Well, we can take that away anytime, and if we take it away, the county's got to cover that, and we're in very vulnerable positions here. So I don't think it's mandatory to do anything yet, or we do anything yet, but eventually the circumstances will dictate that we get more efficient. When that takes place, I have no idea. And the reason that it was brought up now is because you can't. If you have a county agent in place or any other position in place, you can't very well lay somebody off and consolidate at that point. The time to look at it is when you have vacancies. So I think that's all that was brought up for the sake of discussion.
Like I said, we appreciate that and I understand the consolidation and whatnot, and it's definitely something that's gonna be coming. Like I said, as of right now, all we hear about our county agent is support for it.
No doubt.
And, I think we would hear a lot of things if we decided that we were gonna go to a shared position. We might be a vocal minority that's very disappointed in it, but at this point, nobody is questioning, the cost of having the agent. They appreciate the value more so than they question the cost, so. And that very well could change with, maybe our next agent is not a great agent, and maybe they're not on the same page as the strong supporters are, and then things can change quickly, and, I don't know about you guys, but we go through a certain number of county agents here, Seems like it's a pretty short-term position in Steele County,
And again, we
3
didn't
years
have
maybe average.
We didn't have an opinion one way or the other, but we wouldn't be diligent if we didn't ask the question when the question should be asked. And at this point, when neither county has an agent, that's the time to ask the question.
Absolutely. Molly, have you guys been without?
Not that long.
September 19th.
September, okay.
I think the one hindrance to me is that if they change their mindset where you could have a county agent and share both counties, but yet keep the programs within your county, because I think taking our programs and having them all in one location is one of the things that is the downside of what they're talking about doing. So if the county agent can move from county to county and still run your programs in Griggs County and here, but have one administrator, is different than saying everything's gotta be combined, so everything's gonna be based out of Cooperstown or based out of Findlay, whatever else. Now we start a turf war and people are not quite ready for that yet.
Yeah, and we're not convinced that's the case.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that came out of her mouth when I talked to her. But that is not in the century code. It's not a law.
No,
It's not.
It's their policy.
No, it's their
anything.
policy, but they pay half the, they
And they-
pay.
and they still-
And they will pay.
And they still,
They'll continue to pay, I mean, regardless of what.
again,
I think the conversation is good, but at this point in time, I don't think our people would jump up and down and say that we combined and all programs had to be combined and based on one place or another.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully we can get some discussion or some mention of this in the minutes and people can respond
okay.
one way or another,
Yep.
If it gets in the paper and to talk about it, we might get some
Feedback.
feedback, which would be wonderful.
Well, yeah,
Like I said, the only feedback I get is, we want our own.
Yeah.
Well, and mostly it's because of the programs, they want their programs run separately.
Yeah, I
Which is
mean,
the only
crop
things available to
improvement
us.
or, that family services type of stuff, and it's,
But with that said, then in the future, if there's anything that Steele County is lacking or Griggs County is lacking, I think we should get together and talk about it.
Absolutely.
I think there should be an open dialogue as to how we can share expenses to lessen the burden on the taxpayer. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but it's
Yeah.
gotta be discussed.
yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
We'll let you know on this.
All right, yeah.
You guys
just
trying
let us
to
know
Bismarck?
what you guys wanna do.
There's some of them, some of us are, I don't know how many. Just one of you?
Okay.
They're just
All
going
right.
for the road deal, they aren't going to the program.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks for coming over.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you guys for your time.
Yep, thanks, Roy.
See ya.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Let's
Good
jump,
day to you too.
Thank you.
let's jump right into the budget meeting then,
We got a budget hearing.
the budget hearing. Approximately 9 o'clock, and it is approximately 9 o'clock.
Any sheets for us, or?
Somebody recording, whose is this?
Oh, that's theirs.
Yeah, but I don't know how big there.